Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And before it starts, as always, I publish also on Rumble and on the socials here, especially on Twitter. So let's get started. We got some interesting things to go through. First of all, kind of a PSA. MSI and Intel software keys are in the wild. There was like a hack, and they basically managed to get what they called it's the device firmwares, which can be and the keys associated with that. So everything supposedly nobody should know this. So the hackers managed to get through all of this. They tried to ransom these kind of things. Of course, MSI and it's good they didn't pay anything for them, but they threw out in the wild these firmware keys. First of all, I advise you to go to the official MSI. The site was not hacked, but update your firmware just in case. Go to the official MSI site. Don't go googling or don't go to third-party sites and then go to the links they provide. They might be wrong. It doesn't mean I don't trust anybody, but go to the MSI site and update your firmware, or go see if there is any kind of update to do so. If you don't, I think from what I read, there is like no big issue. That you're not going to get hacked or something like that. But in the future, please always be pay attention and go always unless the site is compromised and there is information regarding that. Go always to the official site and always verify the address of the site itself, if it is not like a mirror thing or something like that. The only thing is that they got the firmware from a lot of array of MSI products, from laptops to motherboards and all that stuff. But yeah, there is no issue because with the firmware, with the keys that they had, they cannot hack in people's things. What they can do is with those keys of the firmware, they can inject in the firmware itself some malware or spyware or something like that, and then throw it to the wild to see if somebody by mistake downloads that bundled thing with the malware or spyware and then installs on their PC, and then they get access through that. Only like in this situation they can get access to your PC or laptop or whatever it is. So there is don't get into a panic and try to update, but it's always advised, go to the official MSI site and see if there is like any update for your laptop or whatever component of MSI has. They also has like Intel property boot card system. It's part of the BIOS per se. It's the UEFI secure boot, but there is no big issue here. Again, even it is part of the boot card system or whatever it is, as long as you don't Google it and click on the first link to try to update, there is no issue. It's just to be PSA to be aware. If you're going again, it's always good to say infinite amount of times. If you're going to update anything on your PC, just go to the official site and download it from the site itself, and always verify if the links are the real ones. You always know it's www, and if the connection is also secure, so supposedly it's https dash all that thing and msi.com or something like that. If you have any doubts, always ask on Twitter, on their social media. They always have their official links there. But if you have any doubts, just you can DM me or something like that, or any decent creator that you know that is trustworthy to give you good advice on these kind of things. But yeah, this is it. This is basically a PSA, so you have alert in your mind. It's always good to have this kind of information in mind when you want to update your PC or any component of any kind. But yeah, let's go for hardware stuff here. Supposedly, the backlash to a certain degree before launch kind of work, but it worked to a certain extent because supposedly now, this is a rumor again, the 4060 Ti was going to launch this month. I didn't want to cover any more things about this, but this seems interesting because it's kind of good and bad thing at the same time. It's a shitty bundle of information. They supposedly going to launch the 8 GB as previously confirmed and reconfirmed, but supposedly they are going to also launch a 16 GB model planned for July. It's only for July, mainly because of the backlash of people on the internet are doing regarding NVIDIA and the fact they are not selling GPUs, and people are pointing out to the VRAM capacity of their GPUs. They are trying to save face to a certain extent, but this is not going to work very well because, again, the thing with memory on GPUs, it's not only about the quantity, it's about the memory bus and by extent the memory bandwidth. They are not going to change the memory bus, so you can have infinite amounts of VRAM. If the memory bus is small, this is not going to work. Okay, it's going to work to a so small percentage that you will not basically notice. You might gain, if it is like this in this class of cards, 60 Ti, if you're playing like, I don't know, 1440p, you might push up a little bit of the graphics and you might notice no frame rate performance at all, basically. Mainly because the information that can be stored in the buffer of the VRAM, if it needs more information or exchanging the information between the CPUs and the GPUs, that always is when you're playing a game, and of course the system memory and everything, this memory bus is so small, is half of the bus of the 3060 Ti. And the 3060 Ti, it had the issue of low VRAM, but he had like a good memory bandwidth and memory bus. This is the other way around. What they are trying to do, which is trying to save face, but they just think people are stupid and not going to notice. A lot of them that they are not in the know to a certain extent of this kind of debacle, they might get past and buy this 16 GB thinking they are buying like almost double the performance, or not double the performance, but a lot more extra performance relatively to the 8 GB. I don't see them, because it has like exactly the same CUDA cores, because it's the same GPU. Basically, the base clocks should not be altered. I don't see, mainly because this is rumored to a certain extent, but if they launch it, I don't see basically any changes around here on the to be determined. Basically, it's the memory bus and memory bandwidth that's going to make any kind of difference if you're trying to, because 4060 Ti can be a 4040p GPU, and you can, with 16 GB to a certain extent, maybe trying to blow a little bit on the detail stuff and puts a little bit ray tracing, and then, I don't know, something to that extent, but you're not going to notice basically any difference, and they're going to oversell you this VRAM in the price of the GPU for sure. So it's again, the prices they're going to launch the 4060 Ti, I think it's like $500. I think still, I think this is going to be almost at the same price of a 4070, something like that. I'm not sure. This is going to be a mess. But yeah, still, as always, if you're looking for a GPU at the moment, my advice, it's wait if you can. And if you really need to, just take a look on previous generations. They are still worthwhile. They are excellent performers. The prices are way down now. If you are like, for example, a 1080p, I really, between 1080p, like basic stuff, you can buy very cheap GPUs below $250 or around $250 from previous generations from AMD. They are worth the while. They have excellent performance. Even Intel Arc GPUs, they are very good, and they have all the new technologies, the AV1 encoding and all that stuff, and they can handle pretty well 1080p gaming. If you're around 1440p, you still have a lot of very excellent GPUs from previous generations in a very reasonable prices. And of course 4K, 60 frames and all that stuff. For that, you just, if you usually you have like the money to spend, so It's a matter of how much willing are you want to spend to get the maximum frame rates and highest detail and whatever. But yeah, wait and see. Don't get too much excited with this 16 GB model. The again, memory stuff here, it's half the story here. The other half is what it's hidden, which is basically if they launch, supposedly are going to launch with the same memory buffs, and with that it's the same memory bandwidth. It's like I don't know. You just increase the diameter of a pipe of water, but the flow it's the same. No, it's I don't know what kind of comparison to make at this time. This kind of things is really, it's like you have a bigger bucket, but the flow it's the same basically to fill. So it's basically the same. It's not going to notice basically any difference between these two models if this continues the same. So that's my rant for this one. But still, they are trying to keep up with and increase the sales. Supposedly now they are going to sell a bundle Diablo IV, which is, it seems pretty good in terms of graphic wise, but I don't know. I've been hearing some stuff. This is basically has all the mechanics of a multiplayer, like a MMO stuff, which is not. The Diablo is always has been like an action RPG, isometric view. I don't know what they're going for it in this kind of thing. You have to be, I think from what I understood, you have to be online only to play the game, from what I understood. It's not, doesn't seem like again, another game that is, I don't think is going to be an excellent launch, but we will have to wait and see the reviews. The previews, what it offers from early Diablo's games seems pretty good, but then you have all the online situations and the co-ops and all that stuff, and then the loot, and then the microtransactions that Activision really loves doing it. I stopped playing any kind of Activisions mainly because of how they try to microtransaction everything. When publishers try to put input on games, everything microtransactions, I tend to quit, even if the game is especially if the game is for free. It's just wasting your time and trying to grind things through because they just try to make you spend money that most of the times they don't deserve. But that's another conversation for another day. Regarding AMD, supposedly we got the 7900 X3D, so not the 7950 or the 7800, it's the middle ground on the 3D cache here. Supposedly gets 10% off. This is a awkward position. I don't know if I mentioned this when the 3D cache was announced. I think they should only add launched the 7800 X3D, even though the intention here on the 7950 X3D, I understand what they are trying to do here was trying to get people to get the best of both worlds, but it doesn't work pretty well because the fact how the 3D cache works in terms of temperature sensitivities, and when you have a lot of temperature sensitivities, they have to turn down basically the clocks to lower the temperatures, so the temperatures don't reach determined level, and with that the performance on applications of productivity it gets a little bit lower than even the 7900X. I think it's not the best one, but if you want to game, the best one it's this one, 7800 X3D. If you want an excellent or the best top of the line productivity CPU, you just pick the 7950X or even the 77X for a cheaper one. It's very good with the boost clocks and everything, even though it has less cache. But the 7950, it's good because it has like double the cores and everything. But yeah, it's an odd spot, this one. Especially within all the 7950 and the 79X and non-X, it's a little weird spot here, but it's not worth it in my opinion. And continue with AMD. Supposedly, DaVinci Resolve Studio beta gets AV1 encoding support for all for AMD GPUs, all AMD GPUs, which is the 7000 series, because the previous ones don't have, because this has to be like hardware supported, this kind of encoder. But of course, this is the best one. It's royalty free. That's why you can see on a lot of free software, they can implement this support and take advantage of your GPU without paying for the software. In this case, the DaVinci Resolve Studio, the free version, can have access to this. As you can see here on the changelog, I think that a lot of people are getting more into the DaVinci Resolve, especially comparing to the Adobe Master Suite, or whatever they want to call it. It's like a subscription base, which is the worst thing possible. I see some packages is like, if you are a full content creator, if you don't make money on that, you have to pay like $150 per month or something like that, stupid price like this. And I think for the DaVinci Resolve, you pay just once. I'm not sure which the price is, $300 or something like that, on those lines. And you get the free forever stuff here, and you have also a free version of this software. I think it's a better option. It has the same capabilities of Adobe. The only thing I still use from Adobe, and I still have the non thing from the subscription base, is still the older one. It's the Photoshop thing. It's like before they introduced this thing, so it's an older version, but it does do the job. So with that, I'm satisfied with that. But yeah, when I upgrade my PC, I think I'm going for this free version of DaVinci and try to see if it works for me. If it doesn't, I don't know what I'm going to do, but of course I will do the videos that I need to do. But in terms of things, I think that this one is a good option from what I'm seeing. And yeah, basically this is it. Now we're going for gaming news. We got PlayStation showcase. I cover this because basically PlayStation is the only console that I own, and I have like a soft spot for this, even though I don't like everything they do. Supposedly it's going to air by the end of this month, so the 25th. It's like a rumor, but we got already like a pretty filled summer with a lot of showcases from Summer Game Fest, got Tokyo Game Show, QuakeCon, Comic Con, GDC, Gamers Developers Conference, Summer Game Fest, Games Concerts. Got a lot of stuff here. I intend to cover everything from here. But yeah, supposedly by the end of on the 25th, we should have PlayStation Showcase. We'll see what kind of games, kind of things they want to bring, and see if any of them can translate to PC. Even though not all of them are great translations, but I'm talking about The Last of Us. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We got some other rumors, like supposedly Dead Rising is going to have a reboot. Says this guy is being spilling out a lot of stuff here, Jazz Gordon. Yesterday I also brought you some rumors regarding, I think, this guy here, especially from the Metal Gear Solid remake and between Sony and Capcom and stuff, the reboots and everything. And this guy thinks that supposedly this Dead Rising, which it's kind of fun if you want to mind-numbing kill zombies and be creative about it. Supposedly it's going to have a reboot of the series. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If it has some kind of improvement regarding the formula, I don't know. But what get more exciting here is Darkest Dungeon 2 gets a trailer, and I think they, from what I understood, they now are in early access on Steam, so you can check it out. And if you buy the game, you can get like a full version discount, something like that, if you buy the early access, from what I understood. They are going to do a little tweaks on the formula here. I think it's going to be more a direct line thing with the game itself. Before, it's like a dungeon runs. and then you have like the RNGs and the turn-based combat. The turn-based combat, I think it stays the same, but I think it's the more overall thing, how you're going about the overall thing of the game. I think it's a little bit different, but it's always good to see. These guys basically launched what we called or revamp and give another fresh air of what we call the roguelike style games, because this game was launched in 2016 or something like that, the first one, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's always good to see. I will keep on my eyes on it, and I think you can buy a bundle here. I will leave this, the link on the game on the description with the other deals that I have here for you, which are still The Long Dark, which is kind of an old game, but I remember playing this one still on early access or with a demo. I don't remember. I know I played a little bit of this game. It was kind of very empty, but the mechanics were there. It had basically nothing. Now it has a lot of content. It's very positive reviews all over the place. You got 50% off on the base game. I think you can the demo. I'm not sure if you have a demo here. No, this one doesn't have a demo, but it's very cheap, like 15 bucks. Offers until 11th of May. I think it's worthwhile if you like open world survival crafting stuff here with a little bit story here and there. The mechanics are very creative on how they're going about it with the survival aspect here. With the winter and the heat, you have to keep yourself warm and going about it, and have to go inside like cabins and abandoned areas and explore it. Then you have also like wildlife combat here. Yeah, it's I really recommend this one. We got Dredge. It's a very recent game, overwhelming positive. Again, very story heavy on Lovecraftian stuff here. It's I kind of like all these kind of games. It's kind of weird environment here. 10% off, so 22 bucks. I think it's a very good recommendation here. Also, we got the Playtale Requiem, sorry. It's launched like late last year, but it's already discounted. It's a very excellent game from what I can perceive. 40% off, so basically 30 bucks for this game. It's a little bit heavy on the hardware, but I think it's pretty good to look at least, and I think it's an improvement from the first one. Also, we got Blasphemous. The second one is been announced. It's coming down. This one has a download. It's 75% off, so it's it's so cheap. But you can try out the demo to see if it's your liking. It's like a Metroidvania with Souls-like combat here. I think the story is very good from what I can, from what I saw, and we got some animation here. This is the animation. I think it's from the play stuff, but here the gameplay seems very rough to deal with, like Souls-like style. So I think it's a worthwhile experience here. I'll for sure will try it again when I have my PC. And yeah, lastly we got the Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the 2021 game here. Good, very positive reviews, so around 90%, which is always good to see. 70% off, so 18 bucks or so. Very good story from what I understood, and yeah, basically it's what I know from this game. I try not to get spoiled on the games I don't play. And lastly we got Forza Horizon 5, 45% off. You got the Premium Edition, 54% off, so basically the Premium Edition by the price of the previous base game. Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell. Yeah. And basically this is it, guys, for today. I'm going to wrap up with my GoGetFundMe for me to upgrade my PC to get better content for my private clients, and of course start doing some video work for them also. And in my free spare time, doing the daily videos that I do with better quality if possible. And of course resuming my gameplay series, doing some deep dives with some scripted content, and probably some live streaming also. And basically that's it, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.